I'm still reeling from the conversation I had with my sister last night. She's a single mom, working 2 jobs, and just found out she owes $12,400 in back taxes. The worst part? She's been making minimum payments on her credit card debt for years, and it's barely making a dent. I started thinking, how many people are in her shoes? Living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay off debt, and now facing a huge tax bill. It's like being trapped in a never-ending cycle. That's when it hit me. The real problem isn't the debt itself, it's the fact that we're not talking about the emotional toll it takes on our lives. The stress, the anxiety, the feeling of being completely overwhelmed. My sister's not alone in this struggle. Millions of people are facing similar challenges, and it's time we start addressing the root cause. So, what can you do if you're in a similar situation? First, take a deep breath and acknowledge that you're not alone. It's okay to feel scared, but don't let that fear paralyze you. Let me share a story with you. My friend, Rachel, was in a similar situation a few years ago. She was a gig worker, making around $40,000 a year, and had accumulated $18,000 in credit card debt. She was paying around $500 per month, but the balance wasn't budging. That's when she discovered the power of high-yield savings accounts. She opened a HYSA with a 4% APY and started transferring her extra funds into it. Within a year, she had saved enough to pay off a significant chunk of her debt. The key was to use the 50/30/20 rule. 50% of her income went towards necessities, 30% towards discretionary spending, and 20% towards saving and debt repayment. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but how do I even start? Well, the first step is to face the music. Take a close look at your budget, and I mean a really close look. Where is your money going? Are there any areas where you can cut back? For my sister, it was the daily coffee habit that was adding up to around $100 per month. Not a lot, but enough to make a difference. She switched to making her own coffee at home and put that money towards her debt. The next step is to explore your options. Have you considered a balance transfer? Or maybe a debt consolidation loan? These can be great tools to help you pay off your debt faster, but be careful, they're not a quick fix. You need to understand the terms and conditions before making a decision. My sister, for example, was able to transfer her credit card balance to a new card with a 0% APR for 12 months. She's now saving around $200 per month in interest alone. Here's the thing, paying off debt when you live paycheck to paycheck requires patience, discipline, and a solid plan. It's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. You need to find a system that works for you and stick to it. Whether it's the debt snowball, the debt avalanche, or a combination of both, the key is to find a method that motivates you to keep going. And don't be afraid to seek help along the way. There are plenty of resources available, from credit counseling services to online forums and support groups. Now, I want to ask you a question. What's the biggest debt you're currently facing? Is it credit card debt, student loans, or something else? Share your story with me in the comments below. I read every single comment, and I want to hear from you. By sharing your story, you'll not only be helping yourself but also others who may be going through a similar struggle. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just know that you're not alone. Millions of people have paid off their debt and achieved financial freedom. You can do the same. It's time to take control of your finances and start building the life you deserve. So, what's the first step you'll take today? Will you start by facing your debt head-on, or will you explore your options for paying it off? Whatever you choose, just remember, you're not alone in this journey. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. What if you could pay off your debt in half the time? What if you could save thousands of dollars in interest and build a safety net for yourself? It's possible, and it starts with taking that first step. If you're ready to start your journey to financial freedom, hit like and let me know in the comments. And if you know someone who's struggling with debt, share this video with them. It might just be the wake-up call they need. In our next video, we'll be exploring the world of cryptocurrency and how it can impact your investment portfolio. Specifically, we'll be discussing the recent EU regulatory changes and what they mean for investors. We'll also be sharing some practical tips on how to get started with crypto investing, even if you're a complete beginner. The video is called Crypto Investing for Beginners, a step-by-step guide. Stay tuned, and let's continue this conversation. Let's dive deeper into the world of debt repayment and explore some specific strategies that can help you pay off your debt faster. For example, have you considered the debt snowball method? This involves paying off your smallest debts first, while making minimum payments on your larger debts. The idea is that you'll get a sense of momentum and motivation as you quickly pay off those smaller debts. On the other hand, the debt avalanche method involves paying off your debts with the highest interest rates first, while making minimum payments on your other debts. This can save you the most money and interest over time, but it may not provide the same sense of immediate gratification as the debt snowball method. My sister, for example, decided to use a combination of both methods. She paid off her smallest debt, a credit card with a balance of $2,000, in just a few months. Then, she focused on paying off her debt with the highest interest rate, a personal loan with an APR of 18%. By doing so, she was able to save around $1,500 in interest over the course of a year. Another strategy that can help you pay off your debt faster is to use the power of automation. You can set up automatic payments from your checking account to your credit card or loan accounts, so you'll never miss a payment. You can also use apps like Mint or You Need a Budget to track your spending and stay on top of your finances. In fact, a study by the Federal Reserve found that people who use automation to pay their bills are more likely to pay their debts on time and in full. The study also found that automation can help reduce stress and anxiety related to debt repayment. Now, I want to share a personal anecdote with you. When I was paying off my own debt, I used a technique called the 52-week savings challenge. Each week, I would save an amount equal to the number of the week. So, in week 1, I would save $1, in week 2, I would save $2, and so on. By the end of the year, I had saved over $1,300, which I used to pay off a significant chunk of my debt. You can also use this technique to pay off your debt faster. For example, if you have a debt with a balance of $5,000, you could try to pay an extra $10 per week towards the principal. This may not seem like a lot, but over the course of a year, it can add up to an extra $520, which can save you around $100 in interest. In addition to these strategies, it's also important to build an emergency fund to protect yourself from unexpected expenses. Aim to save 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a separate savings account, so you can avoid going further into debt when unexpected expenses arise. For instance, if you have a car repair that costs $1,000, you can use your emergency fund to cover the expense, rather than putting it on a credit card. This can save you around $200 in interest over the course of a year, and it can also help you avoid the stress and anxiety that comes with debt. As you work towards paying off your debt, it's also important to prioritize self-care and avoid burnout. Remember that paying off debt is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally, so you can stay motivated and focused on your goals. In fact, a study by the American Psychological Association found that people who prioritize self-care are more likely to achieve their financial goals and experience reduced stress and anxiety. So, make sure to take breaks, practice mindfulness, and do things that bring you joy and relaxation. Now, I want to ask you another question. What's the one thing you're going to do today to start paying off your debt? Is it going to be making a budget, cutting back on expenses, or exploring your options for debt consolidation? Whatever it is, just remember that taking that first step is the most important thing. And to help you get started, I've included a link to a free debt repayment worksheet in the description below. This worksheet will help you track your progress, identify areas for improvement, and stay motivated on your journey to financial freedom. As we continue on this journey together, I want to remind you that paying off debt is not just about the numbers, it's about the emotional and psychological freedom that comes with it. It's about being able to breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that you're in control of your finances and your life. So, let's keep the conversation going. Share your story, ask questions, and let's support each other on this journey to financial freedom. And if you're ready to start your journey, hit like and let me know in the comments. I'm excited to see where this journey takes us, and I'm honored to be a part of it.